Your microphone.
Mike.
See, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, see, it's real talk, The Premiership has ended. It's only right, that we do this. And of course, guys, if you check the screen right now, you'll see the guys who were always here for me, when I first started this show. I got my big friend, big brother down here, Baz, Liverpool Baz, you're welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing, man? Nice to have you here again, man.
Yeah. Big up, Tony. Big up, everybody. Big up, everyone in the chat. Thank you for having me on, Tony, man. It's always a pleasure. You know that.
Yeah, sure. Of course, we have Glasgow Red. See, Glasgow Red chart is in the charts, yeah? I started with that guy too, man. Big ups to you. Probably maybe by the end of this week, I want to bring the band together, the old friends that we all started these things together. At the Time Podcast, Baz, Chelsea Dan, all these guys, Rods. I wanna bring the band together and see if we could just tussle a little bit once more, again. But you know what? Yeah, I also have this my brother too. Yeah, great guy. This guy. See, when I started this show, most of the big guys I brought in here, this guy was always there. He's a Chelsea fan, but I don't know, after a while, he just fizzled out a bit when Chelsea couldn't put up a win this season. See, it's another guy here, that JPT. This guy, a big friend, man. Big ups to you, JPT. At the Time Podcast in the house.
Big up.
How you doing, brother?
Better.
Better, right?
It's better, man. Tony, you're trying to get the whole band together. You need to change your name to Tony Clark and Tony Starks, man. You gotta get the Avengers on. Man, you're right. Coincidence.
The season is over. I have no other. This guy, no need for introduction. It's part of the big four guns down here. Of course, we couldn't have the big four guns, but he's down here with me. Of course, my partner in crime, Craig Matthews. You're welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you for having me again, man. Big up the other guests as well.
Yeah. Big ups everyone in the chat and those who will be joining us later on. See, this is a roundup, Let's just talk about our teams, Let's look in depthly. I'm talking of the ones here now, the team that are here now, right now. Let's just look into this season and because none of us won the title, So let's just look into the season. Try to see what went wrong with our teams. Was it the coaching? Was it the set of players? Would you blame it on injury? What would you blame the season on? Because none of us won the title. But you know what? I'll first start from Baz. Liverpool Football Club. What happened on this season? Just take us through what happened this season, and each and every one of us will add one or two things when you finish talking. So just tell us about your season. What's up? Why is Liverpool in fifth this season? Shocking.
Yeah. Look, it's been a poor season. I mean, most Liverpool fans would say it's been a poor season. There can be some excuses, and at the same time, there can't be excuses. Excuses, being midfielders, that's one of our biggest problems. I think it wasn't a prepared season. I mean, I remember one of the first interviews Jurgen Klopp did on Sky, saying that, we were okay in midfield this year. And I think you could see, a lot of Liverpool fans anyway could see that we weren't okay. And then, we did have a few other injuries up front. And it's just been a very disappointing season. I think we could have, we should have been challenging after the year we had previously. We were able to be consistent, and this year we weren't able to be consistent. We lost a good few games. We had injuries. Our midfield weren't good enough. We were playing in a way where I think Jurgen Klopp himself, was just very, very arrogant with himself and how he wanted to play. And then towards towards the ending of the season, he's tried a different tactic, having Trent Alexander-Arnold play in midfield, and that brought us a little bit of joy, where we ended the season quite strong. Not strong enough, but it was. I think it's just more a case of a bit too little, too late, and deservedly, we stay in 5th position. We weren't good enough for Champions League anyway, with this squad. And I think sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Everything happens for a reason. And I think hopefully this might wake up the owners in the sense of like, right, we do need to bring players in, because otherwise, we'll be playing Europa title, leagues for the foreseeable if we don't improve in our squad. This season, everyone would say, ones that have not done well in the league, they'll always say, next year we'd be better, and it depends on the summer. So, depending on the summer, if we can get the right players in, it's just one season where we just finished top 4. We can potentially get back there quickly, but this summer will be a vital one for Liverpool. So we just have to wait and see.
We just have to wait and see. I'll ask other guys, what they feel about Liverpool's season. But you know what, everyone in the charts, big ups to you. Arsenal Punk, Glasgow Red Chart TV, that's a big friend of our show. And also we're big friends also with the guys down here at the Time Podcast. And of course, Baz. The Southern Gunner, my partner in crime, this summer, we're going to be smashing it all summer. Me and Southern Gunner, my big friend, partner in crime. See, this summer, Arsenal need to go get players. And me and the Southern Gunner will be holding our owners responsible this season. This summer, they have to go by. Big ups across the pond. Chris, big up to you. Trudon, big ups to you. See, I'll come to you, JPT. You've just heard what our big friend Baz just said here. Do you agree with the whole scenario, with the whole painting of the picture that he has done here with Liverpool? Do you think Liverpool season? Because when it comes to this Liverpool problems, these guys have been the ones that have been the most consistent team to actually challenge for the title. That Chelsea hasn't really done it yet in seasons. Arsenal, we've not even been there, right? Tottenham Hotspurs, okay, they've been in top 4, but again, this is a team that has always been challenging this season. How come did that team just collapse this season? Couldn't really get wins on the road. Before, when Liverpool was coming to town, whenever they're coming to your home, you get scared. You literally get scared because they'll turn your home into a slaughterhouse, and you can't even beat them at Anfield. Even the season, the champions couldn't even win at Anfield. What would you say was the problem with Liverpool season? Where will you pitch the problem at? Is it at Klopp? Is it that they didn't have the players? Of which I would not agree with that, because this team challenged last season and a couple of seasons ago. How come they just turned bad all of a sudden? But what's your idea, JPT?
I think Baz got it spot on. I mean, they really needed to buy and address the midfield, because that was the biggest issue. I don't think that they anticipated how far of a drop from challenging consistently with City. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of us had Liverpool either winning or competing for second place, and I just don't think they anticipated that midfield drop so much. And yes, they had some injuries in the attack with the likes of Diaz. Nunes wasn't hitting the ground running as everyone expected. I mean, with the cost, you would expect. I mean, we saw him do good things on his previous team, but if they don't address the midfield this summer, then they're going to be back in the same spot. What did save them from having a more embarrassing season was Anfield. Anfield was the fortress for them. Only 2 teams beat them, was Leeds and Madrid, and I think in the whole campaign. Baz, I don't know if you correct me if I'm wrong on that.
About that.
Which I can't believe I'm putting Leeds and Madrid in the same sentence, and who would have seen that coming,
right?
But it's they picked it back up, and I think just enough time from Europa, not exactly what they wanted, but during European competition, it still brings money, it still brings some names. It maybe not the top names as you were probably expecting for Liverpool to come in to help, but you can still be competing for midfielders for this summer. I know you guys are linked with the likes of Caicedo. Well, I'm not sure Caicedo, but I think with Mount for sure. Lavia is another name you guys are trying to go
Caicedo
for.
would love Champions League
Rice.
football, innit?
I mean,
Caicedo would like Champions League football, innit? Craig. We ain't like Champions League football. Baz, see, pun intended, yeah. Pun intended, yeah. You know, you guys didn't qualify for the Champions League. I can see that smirk on JPT's face. You know, you guys are not going to the Champions League. You know.
Well, I'm smirking because
you know,
I think he has.
Just forget about Caicedo. Please forget about Caicedo. But you were saying something, JPT.
I want to still put them as Liverpool. Liverpool is still going to attract names. Let's be real, Tony. I mean, we're still attracting names, and we ain't got shit this season. But the thing is that they got Klopp. That's always going to have a leverage over Arteta, despite how well he did this season. That collapse is putting a lot of doubt in a lot of players' mind coming in. And right now, Kroenke that's a big debate and ado with handling the negotiations. I would say I think it was false hope for you guys when. Trossard was signed instead of Mudryk because you saw how bad Mudryk was playing for us. You got Keyword, which you really need to address your center back issues for Arsenal.
Actually, we'll talk about Arsenal.
Yeah, we're talking about Liverpool. But I do think they'll be competing.
Lots of things to talk about.
But Liverpool will be competing for Champions League. The only thing is just that the competition is going to be much, much heavier now that we're seeing the rise of Villa and Brighton. Possibly, Brian, I see them in Champions. I would really like to see them in Champions League football. I don't know if they will make it, but you can't tell me the Derby doesn't have that team running like a well-oiled machine. So, and Liverpool is going to be in the names, and we'll see with us. But I know with my team, we'll come across that. Y'all will have a laugh. But I think Baz got spot on.
Chelsea's going to get this work. They're going to get this work. See, Craig, I'll bring you into this, Liverpool this season, Europa League football, Europa League. Do you think this will affect the mentality of Liverpool in any way? Or do you think they will go into that competition, look at it like an European competition, and say we're in it to win it? Do you think so?
I think Liverpool will go in there to win it. They'll maybe pick a couple of the young players and pick their solid like one or two experienced players will play, but I think they'll go for every competition next season. I'll be honest with you. I think they'll come back stronger from this. But it depends on recruitment as well, who they get in, who they bring in the summer as well. Because as you said, the midfield has been a problem for a while. Well, they sold Mane last summer. They didn't really replace him either, to be honest. So I don't think Mane was a big sell. So
really, did they replace him? Come on, man. They
didn't replace him. I don't think they replaced him. They didn't replace him at all. With his goals and his pressing and everything, they didn't replace him at all. I don't know if everyone agreed to disagree, but I don't think they replaced him, to be honest.
Diaz could play his role. This guy Nunes could play his role.
But Mane was guaranteed 20 plus goals a season at Liverpool when he was there. So he was scoring all the majority, like when him Salah and Firmino up front or Jota up front, so they were scoring a lot of goals. And then when he left, they struggled to score the amount of goals that they scored when he was in the team. So,
But is that a basis for an excuse for them this season?
No, it's not an excuse.
Because they did bring in good players, at least with the names. Nunes is a decent name, to bring into your football club. Diaz also is a great guy, and this guy that they brought in from Feyenoord, what's his name again?
PSV.
Baz.
Gakpo.
From PSV, Cody Gakpo. These are different guys. So that excuse about this Mane thing, I think that news is becoming stale. It's becoming stale. I think it lies on FSG. I don't think those guys really like. Anyway, I don't think they've invested into the club that much. I don't think they know what they're doing right now. But again, there's also this part of me that always remembers that a team will always get to the peak. They will always get to the peak. And the only way to be at that peak, it's unless you change with the times or you have to come down before you have to go back up again. Law of diminishing returns, right? So, Baz, I have two questions for you because you're from Liverpool, yeah? Number one question, do you have to go rock bottom before you have to go back up again to the top echelon of the English Premiership again? And again, JPT just brought up a different whole new story. He was talking about you attracting players. Without Champions League football, do you think your football club can still attract the biggest players out there?
Yeah. First one. You don't have to be rock bottom. Liverpool's still top 5 in in the English football. So I mean, they're top 5. Well,
Come on now, top 5. Come on,
top 5 might get you Champions League next year, though.
Are we doing top 5 now?
Just remember this. Just remember this. Yeah, with guarantees next year that when that legendary thing comes in, Liverpool will qualify regardless. That's one thing. So Champions League is set anyway. Secondly, we can attract players. I mean, look, the thing is, I mean, anyone in their team, who are back in their team, would want the ones that want to play for their clubs, not for ones that want to come and just play Champions League. Yes, you've got some brilliant players who want to come in and play Champions League, and they will do stuff for you. But I want players that are going to come in and want to play for this club, not players that are just going to be there and just want to like build up their thing and then just like ship off or something like that. Now, you put that red shirt on, you're playing with pride. You want to play for this club. And, it shows that, we've had a bad season for sure. And, like I said, it is to do with midfields and stuff like that. And injuries as well. Because it was also Jota that was injured as well for quite a lot of the season, not just Diaz. Yeah. So, I mean, like that was firepower. And then obviously, players that came in, well, one of them in particular, obviously he hasn't settled in yet properly, but he scored 15 goals this season. So 15 goals and he's missed a lot. So, if he starts scoring those kind of goals, plus 15 on top here, you've got yourself a decent striker there. So,
you've got and even Cody Gakpo was even scoring goals this season.
Cody Gakpo is, he's playing in the Firmino role at the minute, and he's week by week he's looking better and better. Yeah. So I mean, look, we can still definitely attract the players. I mean, we've been linked heavily with McAllister. Look, personally, I know there's other players out there.
Is it world class? Newcastle, they're going for Neymar. Yeah, Manchester United is going for Neymar. Can Neymar consider Liverpool as a football club to come to? That's what I'm saying. The best of the best out there.
Yeah.
Can they look at Liverpool?
Liverpool for sure.
Okay, they didn't quite see, but I'm going to. It's Liverpool.
For starters, I would never have Neymar in my team anyway, because Neymar is not is. Listen, Neymar's one. Liverpool don't do that kind of guy. They don't buy marquee signings like that, and it's going to upset the dressing room and stuff like that. Yes, he's a quality player by his own rights, but Liverpool don't go and buy players like that. Liverpool make players like that. We bought Sadio Mane, and Sadio Mane, just turned out brilliantly. Salah, again, he had something to prove in the Premier League, and he's still consistent with it. So Liverpool, we don't need these marquee signings. You know what I mean? If we come in with players that have, Jurgen Klopp needs to know what kind of system he's going to play and buy a player that fits that system. And if he can do that with people like your McAllisters or your Lavias or your Ungates or whoever Liverpool linked with, then it's not a problem. I don't care so it doesn't have to be a brand name player. It just needs to be a player that can play for Liverpool and do his bits. And if Liverpool next year win the title with a Lavia as opposed to a Bellingham or Moussa Diaby as opposed to a Neymar, I don't care. But we still win the title, so we can still attract players for sure.
For sure. Let's go into Chelsea. Yeah, of course. Enough of Liverpool. Let's go into Chelsea. Yeah, JPT. I've just drank water.
That's tears.
That tell you everything you need to know about Chelsea season. Yeah. You want to talk about your football club this season? Are you there with me? I know I went off.
Yeah.
Are you there with me now?
Mm-hmm.
Give us a talk about Chelsea Football Club this season. What the hell happened to your football club? What the hell happened?
A couple of things, but you can start off the first domino being Bowley. Man, when if someone just knows how not to run a football club, this is it. I'd rather have Todd Bowley have. He took some advice from, supposedly, what was his name? Gordon. I don't know what his name is. The TV show guy, James Corden. That's his name. He should have been calling Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney on how to run a club, because this guy was just clueless, buying big name signs. How bad signs they sign big marquee signs just for the hell of it. Yeah, Todd really went for that. We were even signing players for to invest in the future, but we had issues today that he didn't address. I mean, yes, he got we had defensive injuries that we needed to address. We got Kukureya, Koulibaly, Fofana, all of which were expensive and did not fix the issue at all. Luckily, the few names that he did get to kind of fix it, but yet still too young to be competing at this level. You could say like Badashile, but he of course picked up an injury. Enzo is looking promising. Noni Madueke, again at the end, looking like okay, maybe something that Poch can use for his game plan when he comes in. But yeah, there was no cohesion. We downgraded from Tuchel twice, from Potter, who just wanted to go show that it was more the players at Brighton and whatever was going on there, which was reflecting on that. And then look, they finished above and finally qualifying for Europe. And while we're looking like we were struggling to even get to 10th, and of course, look, we finished at 12. But good sign is that already we're getting a big clear out. No, none of these players that don't want to be here, because we don't need that. Despite if you're from Cobham, if you're supposedly the future star boy, that you say that you fight for the badge, you want to get a higher contract, go to another club. Then if you're not liking the offers that are coming in, then just goes to show that a lot of these players are here just because they have some fans that are fighting for them. They're always going to take their side. They got the money coming in, but they want more. Let them go. We'll see. But to summarize the season, just I still say I don't know how the hell we came out of Anfield with the draw. Like, I'll say that most boring game ever I see. But
I'm shocked about that too.
Yeah, well, we're one of the ones that didn't get spanked. Like, I mean, I can bring up the Arsenal game, but when you guys went to Anfield, and I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? But
what the hell is going on? Yeah,
the hell's going on. But it was just calamity from top to bottom. Frank Lampard, I don't know why he was assigned as caretaker.
What were these guys thinking? Frank Lampard.
They went for the vibes. They went for the vibes. That's all it was.
Craig, you've heard what the Chelsea fan here have said, yeah? Where do you think was the big problem for Chelsea this season? Yeah, bringing in players, giving them slave contracts for 8 years, serve the football club for 8 years. These are young players that you don't know where the wind will blow. If they would get a long-term injury, you place them on such huge amount of years to play for the football club. You don't know their output for the football club. You don't, of course, they're from other countries. You don't know their playing ethics. You don't know how they play. You don't know how they, how you don't know their modus operandi. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if they're prone to long-term injuries. You just give them that huge amount of contract on inflated money also at the same time. The football club as a whole have changed managers at least 3 times this season. Graham, Lampard, Tuchel, see what happened. Do you agree with what happened to Chelsea Football Club this season and them being the whooping boys of the, among the rest this season?
I think the problem was that when Tuchel got sacked, that was the biggest mistake Chelsea ever made. They should have kept him on, 100%. He won in the Champions League. He won them everything. He won the Champions League, the Club World Cup, He did well for them, and I thought that they should have. And they got into the 2 cup finals last year, the League Cup and the FA Cup final, right? Yeah. Got into the, and I thought that like they should have kept him. They should have kept him and not buy all them players that they bought. They could have barely got 4 or 5 new players in the summer, and just bed them in instead of bringing in all these players and then have an unhappy dressing room, players not happy. They brought in Aubameyang. He didn't do anything for them.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He was on big wages.
Nothing.
He didn't do anything for them.
He just got 2 or 1 goal. That was it.
2 or 1 goal.
That's it.
And the goal wasn't even in Champions League, right? It wasn't even in the.
It was. I think it was in the Prem. I would say it was Leicester. No, not Leicester.
I think he scored 1 in the Premier League and 1 in the Champions League. I think he scored in his Champions League debut, if I'm correct. I think so. I think he scored in the Champions League.
Was it maybe against Milan? No. Was he? He wasn't even in the squad, was he?
No, he was in the Champions League squad. He was for the first part of the season. He was in the Champions League squad. Then January, when he brought in Enzo and all them other players, they took him out of the Champions League squad. When Potter came in, they took him out of the Champions League squad for the second half of the season. For the knockout round, they took him out. So
that goal might have been against AC Milan, if anything. But then I think his other goal was against Leicester. I think that was his only goal in the Premier League.
Leicester, right?
1 goal. Not good return.
Absolutely shocking, man. See, Baz, man, what do you have to say about Chelsea this season? Yeah, look at where they ended up this season. Yeah, shocking. And this is a football club that has spent nothing less than, if I'm correct, JPT, £600 million. Yeah, see, this is bigger than what Mikel Arteta has gotten in 4 years of his reign at Arsenal Football Club. He's only gotten about 500 million, in 4 seasons. But Chelsea, in about 2 seasons or so, 600 million pounds, bruv. Shocking, man.
Yeah.
Only to get 12 or 11.
12.
No Champions League football.
Yeah.
No Champions League football.
Yeah. No. Look, that's an example of a prestigious club that's just completely mismanaged. And again, I agree with Craig. With and obviously they getting rid of Arteta, getting rid of Tuchel. That was the first big nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? This guy, you played us in the finals last year, both cups, and we couldn't beat you guys in 90 minutes. They're like both penalties, wasn't it? Penalty shootouts, and we were on a roll last year. Do you know what I mean? So, look, if they had Tuchel in this year, they would never finish where they were. And the thing is, like, look, they've got owners who coming into the dressing room, for God's sake, doing team talks. I think when Farfan signed for them, the guy was at the gate. You know what I mean? Shaking his hand and stuff. Oh, look, that's nice, but you know what I mean? It's a bit too involved. You know what I mean? Like, I always have this belief, right? In any kind of business, right? You've got your big CEO, your owner, whoever, yeah. Then you've got the people below him who are supposed to be running the club. And with Chelsea, he's just there. The owner's just there all the time. He's like a stalker. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not good. And when they're tying up players, they are tying them up on like huge contracts. Now, whether that's a business thing in terms of like trying to do, keeping financial fair play in, I don't know, or whether it is like literally signing you straight to jail sort of thing. I don't know. They have spent a lot of money, but again, that comes with they had Graham Potter in, and then they had all these players. Now Potter's never managed players like your Felixes and your Enzos.
Big egos. He hasn't seen big egos, right? He hasn't seen players that were straight back to him, right?
Yeah, whether the egos or not, I mean, the fact is they're super well-cast players that can play in so many positions. And this guy, no offense to him, I mean, Brighton are a brilliant club, you know what I mean? And he's managed a really brilliant club, but there's a huge difference between Brighton and Chelsea in terms of, you know what I mean, like how they've run and stuff like that, because Brighton are a very family club. Whereas Chelsea, it doesn't look like that at the moment. You know what I mean? It's just literally just, you know, problems after problems in terms of like, you know, ownership and, you know, things like, you know, players like, you know, your Mason Mounts and stuff like that, you know, with rumors and stuff regarding wages. From what I understand, and I've been on a few Chelsea shows, it's not even the fact that he's asking for money, a lot of money. I think he's on some silly money at the moment, like 70,000 or whatever it is. Yeah. But they're trying to tie him up on a 7-year contract. That's what he doesn't want. He's not asking for like 200, 300,000. I don't believe that's the case. But if it is, then all right, fine. You know what I mean? But this is what this guy's worth in his eyes. And if they don't like it, then obviously sell him. But I mean, like, you know, they are going to have a big clear up. They have to, because you've got a lot of deadwood there. This is a, you know, they don't have much to play for next year in terms of like Champions League or Europe. So what they can do is literally just have that run with the Premier League. You know what I mean? A new manager, new ideas, get rid of deadwood, just maybe like adding a goalkeeper or a defender or a striker. Definitely need a striker. And they've also got Nkuku coming in next year as well. So, you know what I mean? Whether he,
coming in, right?
So, you know, he could potentially, like, you know, do the Bobby role, like, you know, because I wanted him at Liverpool to play that Bobby role initially. But, you know, if you don't get, like, Liverpool wouldn't have a number 9 for years after years. You know what I mean? We had Firmino, who was just linking up Salah and Mane all the time. So if he comes in and he gets your wingers, you know, to fire and stuff like that, no one's complaining. You know what I mean? So, but they do need investment, and they need proper investment in the sense of like getting the right players and not just for the sake of it and tie them up in big contracts. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for them next year. But this year, it was just, like I said, an example of how a club should not be run. And I think next year, these owners need to kind of like listen to the fans and kind of just, you know, step away, have like the man in the middle, have your, you know, your footballing director to do all these things, not you. If you do that, then you're just going to get backlashes and stuff like that. It's not going to do well at the bridge, you know what I mean? With fans. Fans are already like, you know, they're very reared up. And, you know, from a Liverpool point of view, you know what I mean? Like, it's you know, owners, you know, we got issues with our owners. So I can totally understand how they're feeling with this owner. I wish I had their money, though.
Exactly. Well, Greg, yeah. See, I would like to bring you in here with this. When Bass was talking, he was saying something about Todd Bowley, you know, stalking the players. Not really stalking, but he's always in the rooms, always in the videos. Always in the videos.
He's like Puff Daddy, isn't he?
He said can't stop, won't stop.
That's iconic, man. That's iconic, man.
Holy can't stop, won't stop losing, man.
Always in the videos. But see, Greg, we've had owners, that didn't even show up to the games most times, We're always in their ranch, in America, enjoying themselves, sipping pina coladas and champagne, you know, and hand down orders straight from the United States of America, you know, absentee owners. What is bad if Todd Bowley comes in and shows himself out there that, you know what, I'm an owner that cares, I'm an owner that wants to invest in the football club, I'm an owner that wants to show that I'm cutthroat. If the manager is not performing, I want to cut him off. That's what he did to Tuchel, right? And he cut him off, right? Good.
Yeah.
I want to invest money into the football club. He did invest money into the football club. I want to show that I'm not an absentee owner of a football club. He did that. He was always coming to games. His face was always there, What has this guy done wrong? Because it's the total opposite of the Cronkies. The Cronkies were not always in our games. They were not always there to motivate the players. They didn't usually pump money into the football club. But Todd Bowley has done everything that I've just said, but yet the success isn't there.
But I thought that him going to the players after the game and going to the dressing room, like he should have done it through the manager. He could have spoken to the manager and said to the players, like, this is what we expect from the club. Like, don't. Him going there might put a lot of players. Because remember, Chelsea got a young squad now. Most of the players are quite young. They've got a young team. They've got a few older players. But some of the young players might have felt intimidated by him coming in there, shooting his mouth off to the players and saying this, that, and the other. And then most of them might have gone to the agent and said, "Oh, we don't like the way how the owner is coming in here and distracting us and talking this, that, and the other about what needs to be done." Like they're professional football players. Like you get paid X amount of money every week to play football, so you should be able to know how to perform in matches and get results. So you didn't need the owner to tell you that. They should know that already. They've got the fans, who Chelsea fans are very passionate fans. They demand a lot. They're used to winning. They're used to winning big trophies, as they say. So they know what they expect. And if the fans are not on your side, then that's the big issue.
There needs to be a balance. I think there needs to be a balance, Tony. You know, if you're an owner,
right?
you know what I mean? There's certain things you can do, certain things you can't do. You know what I mean? Before 10 games or whatever it was, yeah, you got to give this manager a chance. You sack him and you put Graham Potter. Just remind you of what they, you know, the problems that they had previously with the previous administration, who they used to get rid of a lot of managers all the time. So it doesn't bode well for them.
Yeah, because remember that was a big kid that was going against.
GPT, I'll come straight right to you. Yeah, see, of course, if a manager is not performing, yeah, and if you show yourself as this kind of director or owner of a football club, that won't take nonsense. You know that's strict enough to understand that the fans need trophies. Yeah. You come in and you sack Tuchel, who's actually won you a Champions League, yeah? Good in his own right. He's not performing well. He's losing games at the time, yeah? Let's don't get it twisted. Some Chelsea fans were calling for his head. Mm-hmm. There was a time you guys went all through the old games and you guys couldn't even get a win at that time. You guys couldn't even get a break, yeah? Many Chelsea fans were calling for his head. And Todd Boehly did what he had to do. He sacked the manager, brought in a new manager. And mind you, let's don't act. Yeah. You know, hindsight can be a big problem when you look at things. Yeah. Let's don't act as if Graham wasn't heralded as the next big thing. You know, when he was in Brighton, everyone said it. Even you too, you said it, bro. Baz, you also said it too at the time. You know, at that
what
time.
Did I say at the time?
We had shows here at that time, and of course in other shows. You guys said, yeah, he's a good manager.
But he is a good manager.
I mean, Tony, he was one of the names on the list to be supposedly Southgate's replacement too.
The next big thing, right? Yeah. So,
but I'm not the Chelsea fan that compared him to Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's get that right, though. I'm not that guy. We know that guy.
I know. Yeah. I feel you. But let's just don't act as if we all said, you know, that Graham is a shitty choice. Let's don't act like that, because most people give him the benefit of the doubt because of the work he's done at Brighton Football Club. So coming in, I really want to know what the problem is. Is it that you guys don't have a sporting director? The players can't play. The players are too old. That the fact that Silva is the best defender this season for you guys? Is it the fact that you guys don't have a potent striker? I heard that Lukaku is coming back to have another crack at Chelsea Football Club again. I heard that Kane, who is great buddies with Pochettino, might be having ideas of shipping himself down to Chelsea Football Club, and you guys throwing away Felix. You know, I'm hearing of all this news that would, at the end of the day, disrupt the Chelsea dugout yet again next season. So where are you right now in JPT with everything going on?
So, I mean, it all went from, yes, to Boehly micromanaging the squad, because that should have been something for the manager to do. Not, it's almost to the sense of like getting cucked in front of your players. And it was, you can't be doing it. You have to, if you're going to do anything, like you said, it's a hierarchy. It's like from top to bottom. Let the manager know and then have them relay it to whatever. But the thing is that what I'm liking is that if Poch is actually going, like, if we're going after his players, not the shiny new toys that Todd wants because he saw it in Sky Sports or whatever. But it's just it's going to be something that if he properly gets backed, if he lets him handle his team, then Chelsea can be back in business. But With the likes when it comes to Potter too, we haven't like as you were saying, we didn't replace Tuchel at all. Like Potter was not a good replacement, and then Potter's replacement wasn't a good replacement. But at least with Potter, we know. I think now we know his limit. I'm not saying like the Chelsea was the end all be all sort of thing, but look where Brighton ended up with the new manager and pretty much almost the same players that he had, and what they finished higher than they ever had. So I think Potter might have been holding Brighton back during this whole time. I mean, I think the highest he only finished with them was ninth or 8th place.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, but that and also the players that wanted to be here having the influence on these younger players, and these players already getting on high wages or long contracts, they might feel like they're stuck. And also, how can you give these young players any hope when now they're in a long-term situation with you don't even know who their next manager is going to be. You don't know how can I develop as properly as I should be. But now I think with Poch, he has a good history with this from his previous Premier League teams. I think they'll be in good hands now. But Todd has to now accept that he was himself out of his depth and needs to back away. Just get the negotiations on and just, lack of a better word, provide the money and just run the club, let the management, let the sporting director handle everything from here on out. But if we don't see that this summer, expect us to be in the same boat that we are now. If not, we could be facing closer to a relegation battle than we did this year.
Good. See, Craig, I'll bring you right straight back into this, yeah? See, our biggest rivals in London, yeah, have just recruited Pochettino as their coach next season. Does that scare you as an Arsenal fan? Does it scare you?
Yes and no. He's got a proven track. He's got a proven track record of doing well at clubs, but he hasn't really won any major trophies at when he's at Tottenham, Southampton. The only way he won a major trophy.
He's won the French League. He's won the French League.
At PSG. Yeah, with that team, even you could have won the league with that team. To be fair, let's be honest. Messi, Neymar, Mbappe.
You're laughing at that, man. Of course, man. He has to win with that team. Yeah.
Yeah. So part of me thinking, yeah, he might be if he can clear up the deadwood out of the club that he needs to get rid of, then maybe he could do something next season. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Should the league be put on notice? Pochettino is back. Should we be scared? Should you, as a Liverpool fan, when you're going to Chelsea next season, yeah, you're going to Stamford Bridge, a big game, Liverpool-Chelsea. We all know how big that game used to be every season, yeah. And you're about to go to Stamford Bridge, but this time instead of seeing Porter and Lampard, yeah, in that dugout, you're seeing Pochettino, a big strategist, yeah. Going into that matchup, will you be like, "Oh my God, I'm going to face Pochettino"? Would you attach a form of respect when going to Stamford Bridge? Because right now, no one respects Frank Lampard, right? No one respects him at all. If you're going to Stamford Bridge right now, you say, "Oh, bring them on. I want to play these guys. I'm going to run Lampard out of his own yard and beat them up." Yeah, that's what you think. But Pochettino, a different animal altogether. Should we be put on notice that Pochettino is there?
Look, to be honest with you, one of Liverpool's problems, yeah, is teams with low blocks. You know what I mean? Just defend and stuff like that. We just never do. But with Pochettino, what you get with Pochettino is good playing football. You know, you'll play good football. For Liverpool, personally, all right, and I respect any team that we play. I respect them. You know what I mean? Apart from Manchester United and Everton, of course. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not scared of Pochettino is there. I mean, like in the Premier League, he's won nothing. Yeah, and like like Craig said, you know what I mean? Like he's won something at PSG, and my grandma could do that. And to be fair, I think he was that nearly guy at Tottenham. You know what I mean? And obviously we done you guys a favor by beating them in the Champions League. But they play great football. They play great football. I mean, for me personally, I like playing football against teams that actually want to play football, not just part of the bus. And I think when we play them, it's going to be a great game. Definitely will be a great game with them. They've got the players. They'll have a manager that can play good football. Do I think he's probably the best manager for them? No, I don't think so. But
no, you don't think so?
No, definitely
you don't
not.
think so? Why?
I mean, he wasn't our first option.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that, JPT.
It's good football.
But he wasn't our first option, though. Like you're saying, that's like saying like Trossard. He wasn't your first option for like a left wing or attack, but you settled for him. We settled for Poch because we were looking at Enrique and Nagelsmann, but once Nagelsmann knew he had to do multiple rounds of interviews, he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here." So I mean, it's just not. I mean, Poch, I'm glad it was a good backup option.
It's a good option, yeah, JPT. I mean, this is it. You guys were linked with those two managers because I've been on a lot of Chelsea shows, and to be honest with you, those were the better options for me. Yes, all right.
But we're speaking of Poch as if he's not an elite manager. So isn't he an elite manager?
No, not really, because he's won nothing. He's won nothing. Because if you talk about the PSG, yeah, all right, fine, he's won something there. But I've already said, and I think a lot of people will agree. You know, they are the farmers. Do you know what I mean? They're the man them. But what's he done? What's he done in the Premier League? But then you could argue the same thing as those two managers that were in question, like your Enrique's and your Nagelsmann's. All right, haven't done anything in the Premier League, but they're brilliant. They're brilliant with strategy and stuff like that. I'm not saying Poch isn't. Yeah, I mean he'll bring out a lot with youngsters and stuff like that, and play a system and stuff like that. But if I would fear more. All right, if I had maybe like a Nagelsmann, against a Liverpool team or an Enrique, because I know what those managers are about. Poch, I think you could still beat a Poch team if you're good enough. But they've done it right this time round where they've got someone in that's got Premier League experience. They've put him on a 2-year contract as opposed to a 5-6 year contract where they have to just pay off. So maybe they've learned from that. The managers getting big payoffs. But he's a good backup option, as JPT said. Do you know what I mean? But personally, I wouldn't be, I'm not very worried because I know my day, my club is brilliant. And there's no disrespect to anyone else because obviously on their days they know their club is brilliant. But on my club, I believe I've got confidence in my team. If we get our midfielders or players in what we need, then we're as good as anyone, including a Chelsea or an Arsenal or whatever. But it is what it is, and it'll be interesting to see.
Good. Final question before we move on to Arsenal, because we have Craig waiting in the wings to put us in the game for that Arsenal one, and that's the one I know you guys would like to talk about, because I know you guys will want to Baz can't wait. He can't wait. He can't cook. He can't wait to cook Arsenal. JPT, will Chelsea be challenging for titles next season? Final question for Chelsea.
No, I mean maybe domestic cup wise, but at least for a league, as long as Pep and City are going to be there, it's going to be their league until he probably is gone. But I think we're bringing Poch back more for development and improvement more than really to challenge for anything, because we really can't challenge for.
But is he a coach that can build on a project? Is it that kind of manager that can?
Yeah, I think that's what's his plus side.
Create them. Does he have an eye for young, youthful players that can come in the ranks and just kind of help that Chelsea team grow? Or do you think he's that kind of manager that would just go and get ready-made players and say, "Hey, come, I want to win titles immediately. I want to hit the ground running immediately, and just come in and do a job for me"? Or do you think he's that kind of guy that would look into your into your second string side, your B team? Is he that kind of guy that would go and bring a young player, or do you think he would just look at the big guns out there to just bring in and do an assassin's job for him?
I think it's more for bringing in for development and improving these young players that we have to deal with. We have kids like it's like we have a whole kindergarten class over at Chelsea right now, man. It's a lot of kids, but the thing is that it looks like the one thing he's been saying is just I have an idea of who I want for my attack, and yeah, as you said, Kane or Lukaku. So it looks like he wants like if anything from like experience like a set player, it will be in that role, and hopefully he gets this in the summertime. I know he's gonna get Lukaku, but it doesn't even look like Lukaku wants to be there. If we get Kane, we have to hope that Man United don't beat them or doesn't beat us to the signature. But you know, they're leaving with quite a few names for the striker. But yeah, I do think that he's more for development because if we brought him in and he's a more of a coach that I need the big guns, I need set players, then he's essentially fucked because we don't really have that right now. So, but if he's more for development, then I think he's in good hands. And I think this 2-year contract with the option for a third, bless you, is a good time because there's been like jokingly, but I won't be surprised if we see this. In the 2 years, Chelsea will have their developed players and Poch will be stepping down or sacked. I don't know if he'll continue from there on out, but let's not pretend that, at PSG, he won the Farmers League, but the main issue he had is when the board doesn't back him, and it's just he's in a losing battle with the board. Then it looks like it's just going to be another failed project for him.
Yeah. Big ups to people who are in the chat. Trudon is in the chat. Stefano is in the chat. The Assembled is in the chat. Tommy Osabia is in the chat, and Mr. DT. Yeah, of course, Arsenal legend. Yeah, Mr. DT is in the show. Big ups to you, Mr. DT. Lots of respect to you, my brother, DT. Big ups to you. Say good evening, guys. Good evening, boys. Big ups to you, Mr. DT. Enough respect to you. And thanks for showing up to my show today. I know you just stumbled on it. He says, listen, guys, Arteta's not the guy we think he can be. We will bottle it
what a
again.
Segue.
Yeah, that's from Mr. DT. Yeah, enough respect to you. See, we've come to Arsenal. Yeah. Craig, take us through what has happened, at Arsenal. Are you okay with us leading the park, even Manchester City, by 11 points, a whooping 11 points, beating these teams, home and away, and then when it's time for us to actually go to the deep ends and dig deep and show big, huge, humongous balls like Ron Jeremy has talked about down here in the charts. We go and we bottle it. We go and we bottle it. Craig, man, Craig, we bottled it. Yeah, and it hurts because it took a part of me, It took a part of me because this season I've been saying that Arsenal, was going to win the title. I told this guy, I boasted to my friends, down here at JP. I'm talking of JPT and also Baz. I boasted to these guys that we're going to win the league. They were just looking at me and, they were like, this guy's going to get heartbroken. I knew they had it in the back of their heads, but they never said it to me directly, but I knew they had that in the back of their heads. But Greg, what would you say about Arsenal season? You've seen how we've bottled it. The game in Southampton. At Anfield, we had everything under control, and then Xhaka riled up the Liverpool faithfuls, and then we just went downhill. Yeah, the donuts of the league, we couldn't beat them. Brighton came at our home, destroyed us at home. Yeah, West Ham 2-goal lead. See what? Just take us away. What would you say?
I feel like we started well from pre-season to like up until April. We're doing well. We're on the verge of going to win the league. Then the game we went to Anfield is what changed the season for me. We're 2-0 off against Liverpool, and Liverpool are a good team. But it's 2-0 off at Anfield, and we could have scored more goals. We could have been a 4-up. We had so many chances, and then Xhaka went and riled up Trent Alexander-Arnold. They know what happened after that. They scored 2 goals. They scored a goal before half time, and then they scored a goal like in the last minute of the game to equalise. And we had a chance to finish it off anyway because we had a 3 versus 1. When Martinelli had the ball, he could have played to Saka, could have played to Trossard, and then if the play, then one on one with the keeper could have been 3-2. But I think from that game, after the Liverpool game, I think the confidence went down after that because we went to West Ham, we were 2-0 up at West Ham. Through the game, Partey tried to do something. I don't know what he tried to do against Declan Rice. He tried to flick the ball over his head. Declan Rice intercepted it, and then it gave away a penalty. And then after that, and then Saka missed a penalty in that game as well to make it 3-1. So then after that, we had the Southampton game at home. So easy 3 points. What was the league? And then we just capitulated. Ramsdale gave it the first goal, and then we conceded the second goal. Then after that, we were chasing the game. So it's been one of them seasons where I'm still disappointed. When I look back at how many points we were behind, it's only 5 points difference.
Yeah. Fan, your heart will be broken. Your heart will be broken. Seeing Man City lift that trophy, it broke my heart because you know that cup belongs to us. Yeah, it belongs to us. The acrimonious way we slipped up. See, the donuts of the league, we couldn't beat them. Nottingham Forest getting points against us. Arsenal is a team that gifts Nottingham Forest a chance to stay in the league, and at the same time, in that same match, handing over the title to Manchester City. Southampton, the donuts of the league, were even already relegated. This season, it took it's like they drove a big hole into my heart this season. I feel hurt. And I feel disappointed about these players. This season, was it progress? Yes, because of course, 8th, 5th, 2nd, it's progress. Is there a success? The answer is no, because success, you have to give me trophies. I'm part of that fan base that will around the players when they do well, and if you give up shitty performances, I'll call you out. We just have to call this out. Yeah, we didn't win any trophies this season. We did badly in terms of going out of this domestic cup games that we should have at least won 1 or 2 cups. See, even Manchester United had a more better season in a different way. Yeah, they're in the FA Cup final. Yeah, they have a chance of at least winning 2 trophies this season.
Doing the double, yeah.
They had a big, good run. Yeah, in the league, we can't boast of any cup. Yeah, so that's why next season I want to go for the Mickey Mouse Cup. How about that, Craig? I need the Mickey Mouse Cup. How about that? I want to go and win the Carabao Cup. I want to go and win the FA Cup. How about that, my brother? I want to go to the semi-finals of the Champions League. How about that, Craig? Yeah. See, Baz, let me put you in the game. Gloat. Arsenal season.
No. Look, listen. You see me, yeah. I'm not gonna gloat, yeah, because I'm in no position to gloat, yeah. My team finished 5th, yeah. But let me tell you about your season, yeah. And I'm not gloating, yeah. You know, you're talking about all the stuff that you're feeling, yeah. You, as a fan, all right. Heartbreak, yeah. How do you think Liverpool fans feel? Heartbreak. We lost out on maybe a point or so. You guys eventually, I think it was 4 points or something like that. That's more heartbreaking when you lose by 8 points. Yeah, that's more heartbreaking, especially with a club like us that don't invest a lot of money. Another thing is, like, I think you see what annoyed me with quite a few Arsenal fans, and believe me, it's not just Arsenal fans. It's just like a lot of fans. You do get your ones that are very too optimistic. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just need putting in their place. Now, the thing is, what I've said, all right, and where I was one of them that said you ain't winning the title, and based on the experience of Man City, come on, this is a team, yeah, that have got all the money in the world, one of the best manager in the world, in my opinion, yeah, and an absolute robot up front, yeah, with, you know, there's just no, this is not a team that anyone can just, like, you know, you need to prepare for this, you need to have experience. Arsenal, what they did, they started running, knowing that it's not a 100-meter sprint. It's a cross-country sprint, you know, long distance run. And Arsenal, you know what happened? They just fell off steam. You know what I mean? And it's nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, I tell you why. All right, it's because what you said. Yeah, last year was worse for you than this year, and you might think, well, no, how is that even possible? You know what? You could have got top 4 last year, and you bottled it there with with Tottenham getting that last spot. Yeah, this year, you know what you showed? You showed the world, right, that Arsenal can actually be there next year if they get the right players in. You know, if the manager improves with certain things. So it's you guys shouldn't look at it as a negative. Yes, you know your priorities did shift to the league because you were there for so long. Do you know what I mean? But you can't be too damn hearted on your club because your club did, better than any of us. You know what I mean? Besides the Man City, there's only one club that stopped you, and that's the club that's just stopped everyone over the last how many years? You know what I mean? And the thing is, I think with your club, yeah. I mean, I agree with Craig saying that the one at Anfield. I mean, that just shows with Arteta, yeah, or I think it was obviously Saka, not Saka. Who was it? Yeah, it was not Saka. Who was the one? Yeah, what he did, obviously. Yeah, that's one place you don't want to to upset the fans there because you know what, they are that 12th that 12th player. Like Liverpool, there's something mystique about our stadium, especially in big games and stuff like that. And it happens even with Arteta. Do you remember last year, the year before that, he started to run his mouth at Anfield and that World Cup Anfield, and then it was a problem for you guys there. So the thing is, it's about learning, innit? And it's an experience that you guys will never forget. But next year, I mean, you ain't got players that are out of contract. You ain't got players that are just flopping, and you're gonna improve. You're gonna improve if you want to get. You're in the Champions League for since how many odd years? You know what I mean? This is your opportunity now to
6 years now.
To attract the players, not just for Champions League, but for the Premier League. You've got a good manager there, yeah. Yes, I mean, if that's the real DT, big up to yourself, man. But you know what? One thing that did annoy me about Arsenal, about some Arsenal fans, about wanting Arteta out. This guy's been successful for you guys. I think, yes, you look at how you guys bottled it, yeah. Yeah, that's deep, but it's a lesson because you know what? A lot of fans would say the same thing about Jurgen Klopp. He came to a club that was 8th, 7th, and whatever it was. But yes, you guys did spend money, but you guys are now somewhere, you know what I mean, where you weren't all these other years. Other managers have come and failed and stuff like that, yeah. And you guys have got a manager that you can call your own, played for Arsenal. I think he was more of an Everton legend than an Arsenal legend, but he's coming from a manager that is the best tactician in the world. And when someone like a Pep wants hand picks his assistant manager, yeah, you know that you're special. So the thing is, when I watch some of these videos, on social media about how he is in the dressing room, how he starts switching and stuff like that, yeah. For some people to, to say like Arteta isn't the one, I think you just got to, you've got to give him that time because you're in a better position now than you ever have been. You're playing great football. You've got players on good contracts. You've got young players. The future is bright for you guys. But some fans are just wanting success just like that, and you can't do that with a team like Man City. Man City are just going to blitz you, and sometimes you have to have those patience. Even in a game when you're not playing well, you got to be patient. Your chance will come, and that's what's happened.
But again, yeah, this is his 4th season at Arsenal. Yeah, 8th, 5th, 2nd. Yeah, no trophy, only the FA Cup and the Charity Shield. Yeah, Baz, this is a direct question to you. If Klopp is coming to your football club and gets you one FA Cup and a Charity Shield in 4 seasons, would you want him to stay at your football club? It's just a question.
And my honest answer will be, if I see improvement and I see the long-term project, I'd keep him. Not an arrogant manager that's just going to play. A lot of people know on my platform, yeah, how I feel about Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, he didn't come forth. Yeah, ultimately he's responsible. Yeah, for that thing. But going back to your thing, yeah.
He's won the Champions League. He has a bargaining chip.
Yeah, but that's last. Yeah, but this credit in the table, this credit in the bank thing. Yeah,
credit in the bank. He won the Champions League for you.
Listen, credit in the bank. Doesn't matter. You know why? Because you know when people used to like slate Liverpool for the has-beens, oh yeah, you talk about your history. I don't care about history. History I can't do nothing about. Yeah, that's in the past, man. I'm not interested. I'm interested in the future and what this club is going, what this man's going to bring in. So as far as I'm concerned, thank you, Jurgen Klopp, or thank you, Arteta, or thank you, whoever it is, yeah. But if you're not gonna improve my team, yeah, and bring, take strides, yeah, then you know what I mean. I don't want you. And the thing is, Arteta, yeah, can you really put your hand in your heart and actually, well, not you, but maybe people who want Arteta out, yeah, and say, do you know what? Am I being fair? Because the thing is, what he's done, he's brought you Champions League. Yes, he had 4 years in that, but Jurgen Klopp lost how many finals when he first came to Liverpool? We weren't challenging for no Premier League, and then we, over the last 4 or 5 years, we have. So it takes time. But the thing is, that's what I get very frustrated with some fans, that you have to have the patience. And I know, like, if it was my club, I would be annoyed. But some fans, they need to really look at where your club was maybe 3 years ago and see, what, are you in a better position? Do you have a brilliant manager? And, personally, I think this is a very, it's very harsh. And, when people are saying that, that they want Arteta out and stuff like that. Yes, it was a big bottle job, yeah, but something, you learn from your mistakes. That's a life lesson, generally speaking. If you don't make mistakes, yeah, when you do make mistakes, how are you going to cope with it? You know what I mean? You need to make mistakes in life, and that's just part of football, part of life. And that was a mistake. Next year, do you think they'll make the same mistakes? If they make the same mistakes next year, then yes, you may have a case, like start looking at things. But if next year you win that title, win a Champions League, but don't win a title, what would you guys say then?
Man, food for thought. Yeah, I agree. JPT, please just tell me what you thought about Arsenal season. I know you said you want to go, but I would like us to end the show because we will soon be going, actually. So I would like us to round it up together. Maybe 10 minutes tops, because Craig would answer one question and all of us will go together. So JPT, what would you say about Arsenal season? Yeah, are we bottle jobs? Just say it as it is, and I won't feel hurt because I know we bottled it. But I want to hear it from you. You was a Chelsea fan, but of course you would still, recollect your position in the league, right? But would you call Arsenal bottlers? Did we bottle? Oh my God! It the bottle.
I just had to do that.
Greg has the bottle.
Oh yeah, I've got a Saka. You know what? Water actually do Saka. There's a Saka brand, yeah, called Saka. Yeah, it's in the garage somewhere, man. I wanted to bring it.
I saw Traps Booming likes bringing that out. JPT, are Arsenal bottlers? Did we bottle the league?
By definition, yeah. I mean, 93%. You were there, but it just so happens that Liverpool comes up on your schedule at Anfield, and my goodness, it was a fall of the mentality of these young players. At least that's how I took it, because you can't tell me before, if let's just say hypothetically, and I know we can't do really hypotheticals in reality, but had Liverpool been on the later part of your schedule, I don't see Arsenal, how they were playing, losing or dropping points to West Ham, to relegation, like almost guaranteed Southampton. And then, of course, you're going to bounce back from us, which then gave you hope for Newcastle. What a performance. But there was no way, to justify like losing to Forest in that way. But I'll excuse that I think they just accepted their fate because it was out of their hands. They knew City was playing Chelsea the next day. Are you going to pretend like I'm just like, I'm glad. I was like, oh, thank God, but I don't have to see like a slaughter on worldwide TV. But it was just that. You guys really couldn't recuperate from losing Saliba, which, look, from a Chelsea fan, when we had like 11, 12 injuries, we couldn't use that as an excuse. It only took about 3 injuries for you guys for the whole thing to collapse.
Which was too late, right?
Tomiyasu, because then there was no proper backup for Ben White,
William Saliba,
and Saliba, because Holding and Kiwar, who was there for potential, he wasn't ready. And then Tierney was really your only good left back. I know Zinchenko was the midfielder who can play there, but when you needed that defensive mindset, he wasn't the guy. And then I won't even use Jesus as why this will happen, because you guys are so fine, and you could have put anyone on top. And when you have Martinelli, who like healthy, and then Saka, who was wow, what a performance for him this season. This team was near like that 11 was great, but it was that bench, that depth that Edu did not invest properly in. He wasn't as aggressive as he needed to for January, and that I think is when the first crack fell for you guys, because if you guys had addressed the real issues and got the players you wanted for during January, this could be a different story. But you guys, I mean, I think the big factor was just that the guys could not rebound from dropping points for Liverpool. I think that was the stumble that they needed. I mean, 2-0 up. I mean, the title was pretty much set. Like the storyline from that game was gonna be set at the 42nd minute when Liverpool got one back right before halftime. You give anyone in Anfield, that 12th man, any sign of hope there, it's gone. It's that's why, like I said, Anfield was a whole different monster and a big lifeline for Liverpool. But for Arsenal, yeah, you could say that. I don't see it yet. Clearly, no success, because success is measured with trophies, accomplishments like that. Yes, I would say Champions League spot is like an imaginary trophy, but you can't really use that for an excuse to replace a whole silverware. But you guys have progress. You guys went from eighth, as you said, twice, to fifth, to now second, which you can move the goalposts in this. If you come into second to City, it's like first in any other league. This City is just a whole different monster. Once they got Haaland scoring for fun, this man he lives and breathes goals. That just could have made a whole different factor. But look, I was a doubter of Arsenal all the way until maybe like for Christmas break, and I was like, okay, I think this might be the real deal. But as Baz said, it is a marathon. I would argue that it's a marathon mixed with the sprints. You're gonna have to be something. You're gonna have to be like part Kenyan to win this whole Premier League shit. But
exactly. Craig. Craig. Will Arsenal challenge for the title next season? And do you still want Mikel Arteta manning our football club? Just before
it depends. It depends on the recruitment. Who we bring in, to someone who we get rid of, and then we can take it from there. If we have a good transfer window, I think we could definitely challenge again. But if we don't have a good transfer window, and we end up buying up the scraps, that not getting the players like the Declan Rice or the Caicedo, and get someone not to their level, then most likely we're going to end up struggling. We've got Champions League as well, so we'll end up not sure. Yeah.
Like, how many players do we need at Arsenal in the summer? Like, how many? How many should come into this team right now? Mind you, Granit Xhaka is leaving the football club, so at the end of
six or seven, I would say. That for squad
6 or 7 players, right? Exactly. I also believe that too.
6 or 7 new players. Freshen it up a bit. Freshen it up, yeah.
See, guys, we're just going to do a prediction and then we go. See, JPT, I'll start from you. Who is going to win the Champions League and the FA Cup? I'll start with you, JPT. FA Cup, who's going to win that final? And the Champions League, who's going to win that final? Hit us.
I think with Martinez out for and now Anthony out for United, this looks almost guaranteed for City. The only thing that would have them with one hand tied behind their back is that they're going to be more focused for Champions League, which, oh my God, I can't even predict the winner for this, because I don't want to see City win it, but I also don't want to see Lukaku raising the trophy. Oh,
exactly.
Bald-headed nightmares everywhere, man. I can't win. It's like any way direction. It's like Johnny Sins. But I'm going to say that we might see the City treble, which football's going to die this day. City and winning both cups. You know, it's the Pep way.
Yeah, the Pep way. See, Craig Matthews, who's going to win the Champions League and who's going to win the FA Cup?
I think Man City are going to win the Champions League. But it's going to be a close game, though. Everyone thinks City are going to roll through Inter Milan. Inter Milan got some good players. Like Martinez is a good player. They got Mkhitaryan who's revived his career somehow. They got Edin Dzeko who's play for Man City. So they got some decent players that could do damage. And they got Onana, the goalkeeper, is always a good goalkeeper for Inter as well. So it's not going to be a straightforward game. It could be like a 2-1 City after extra time. I think.
What about the FA Cup? What about the FA Cup?
I think Man City are going to win it as well because United. I don't want them to, but it's going to happen. They're going to win
It's a treble.
It's going to be a trouble.
It's a treble, man. See, Baz, your biggest rivals have the chance, of toppling, at least kind of like just act as a spoiler in a way, against the treble that Man City is supposed to win this season. Do you think Manchester United can win the FA Cup?
This is so painful, man. This is so painful. Look, Man City are winning them both. They're winning them both, and again, that hurts, man, because I don't want. Sometimes when you have that taste of that nice, sweet thing, Champions League, for example, you're gonna want that for years after years after years after years, Like with Liverpool fans, we pride ourselves in that we've won the most Champions League in England, and we can always boast that over like a few clubs, all the clubs in the league. Now, Man City, if they win that, they're going over Liverpool. They're going over Liverpool. But then saying that, things like the teams like Newcastle and that with big investment and stuff like that, with the right strategy, other clubs can win it. But going forward, the FA Cup, they're both Manchester clubs, isn't it? It depends. One can play with heart and win it. The other one can just play tactically and just like blitz you. It can be anyone's. But Man City have just finished the season strong. They're confident. They're very confident. They've won the league. Now they're going to probably win the FA Cup as well. And then the Champions League, everyone's just been saying that with Arteta. I'm not Arteta. I keep saying Arteta, man, for God's sake. Pep. Pep, listen, man. Everyone's been saying, they ain't won a Champions League. They ain't won a Champions League. Ratata. This is the season that they win it, and it hurts. But all I say is 2005. 2005 Liverpool. We weren't supposed to win that, but we won it. So I'm hoping Inter win because they, like Craig says, they've got a good team. And depends on who wants it at the at the end of the day. It could be a hoodoo where Man City just literally just can't win the Champions League. I don't know. Depends who wants it. But if I was a betting man, I'd say United win both of those things, and they win. Man City win both of those things.
Man City win both,
and
right?
He's a gambling man. United.
See, JPT, please, I beg you. I just want you guys to answer this one. If City wins this treble, will it be a more remarkable treble than the treble of Manchester United? JPT, take us off.
I'll say that this would be probably a more impressive team, but I don't think anything would beat United's treble. I don't think it'll take that. Just the way how they won it, that UCL final was just. I watched YouTube videos, replays of it, just because it was that great of a game. But I don't think it topples that treble. But this is a better team of it. Like I said, that makes any sense.
Craig, what do you think? Which one would be if City scoop up all these titles? Will it be better, remarkable than that of Fergie for Manchester United?
I think Man United, because the reason why I think Man United, because the way how they had to battle in the semi-final against Juventus, and that Roy Keane got booked, and then he couldn't play in the final, couldn't score something in the final. So, and the FA Cup semi-final as well against Arsenal, I've bottled that one as well. Remember that semi-final?
Yeah, that one, right? Yeah, exactly. Baz, what about you? If Man City scoop up these titles, win the Champions League, destroys Inter Milan mercilessly, comes in, looks at Manchester United, roll them over in the FA Cup final, get the treble this season, do you think that treble trumps that of Manchester United?
Yeah. Look, you know what? Manchester United, it's in the blood. I hate them. And Man City is starting to become like that as well. They're both Manchester clubs. Man City are just like, starting their bits and that. Yeah. So, I'm going to go different. I'm actually going to say it will be more, Man City's one will be more impressive. Reason being is because, the Premier League, for example, 95% or 90% of the season, they were just like trying to catch you down, hunt you. And finally they did, So that alone is impressive because Arsenal weren't no joke. You get me? And then obviously they're gonna play their biggest rivals, obviously, like in terms of City in a cup competition. they beat them, that's the big bragging rights. And remember, it's a cup final against your neighbours, and then you go and just put Inter Milan in a spliff. Then surely that is got to be the best. The best. I mean, all right, fine. In terms of the United, Champions League win and stuff like that, last minutes and stuff like that. That people will be remembered. But it depends on what kind of fan you are, how you look at it. So I think if they win, it's just as equal. But you know what? I'll say City's one would probably be more because they've got the best striker in the world. They're playing, to win a Champions League. They were talking about they need a striker to win Champions League. If he does that, what I mean? It's a masterstroke from Pep, yeah. And obviously, and then obviously you're playing your derby. You're playing a derby at Wembley against your fiercest rivals, your nosy neighbours or God knows what. That's a thing. And then obviously the Premier League as well. Not, they just did what Man City does. So I think they will, I'll go different and say Man City.
You'll go a different route, yeah. Guys, shout out where people could find you guys. We've come to the end of this very smooth show. I love this show, man. It was just amazing, man. Craig Matthews, man, shout out where people could find you, my brother.
29 Matthews on Instagram and 87.uk on Instagram for and YouTube is 87.co.uk on YouTube as well.
Yeah. JPT, my brother, please, man, shout these guys out and tell these guys where they can find you, my brother.
Oh yeah, if I'm at the Out of Time podcast, I think I'm gonna start putting out like a season review, but I also want to do something where like I get like a panel exclusively of like Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, United, so on, to get a point of view of how their season went. So I think you will see more content from me finally. And yeah, but if not, you'll see me on Oris Talks Football, AFC Gunner Talk TV. And Luca AFC. I'm not a lot of Arsenal fans streams, but yeah, if not, just whoever invites me, I'm always happy to join. But thank you, Tony. It was good, doing this again.
Yeah, man. Actually, I always feel blessed whenever you come to my channel, man, because you've always been in most of the shows that anytime I ask you to come around, you've always been there, JPT. And I started all these things, with you guys, mostly with you, Baz, and other guys that came around too. So big ups to you guys, yeah. Baz, please shout out where people could find you, my brother, my big brother, Baz. Yeah.
Thank you.
And guys, Baz played professional football, in case you didn't know. So he played football too. So Baz, yeah.
Yeah, you can find me. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on, man. And big up to the chat and big up to the panelists as well, man. Yeah, it's always great. But yeah, you can find me on LVFC TV. That's my YouTube channel. My social medias are the same, LVFC TV. And yeah, wherever anyone invites me, you'll see me. And I will probably do some shows. It will probably be when, in the summer with signings. If we do sign somebody, then you'll hear maybe there'll be something on my channel. I don't do speculations. I need to do facts. So yeah, you'll find me on there as well. So yeah, big up, man.
Yeah, big ups. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Amy Baba just dropping that quote there. I think City will win the treble. Amy Baba, big ups, and he's a member of our channel. We love you down here, Amy Baba. See ya, guys. This week, join me as I welcome Deji Spores on our Premiership Roundup of the Minority Report this week. That should be, I think on Thursday, me and Deji Spores will be doing a roundup. Yeah, he's been mounting off everywhere. So, I have to put that kill shot on Deji Spores on Thursday. And of course, tomorrow, me and Ryan Maguire will be doing a roundup of the season on the Ryan and Claude show. The Big Four we're rounding up to. Also, me, Craig Matthews, Abs, and Weezer of the Foundation TV will be back here probably maybe on Friday. So, guys, do join us. And everyone, thanks for joining us today. And we'll see you soon. Big ups.